Howdy folks, and welcome back to Explaining Gun Control Part 6, Waiting Periods. Now, as many of you know, the Governor of Florida, Rick Scott, recently signed a package of bills, and a 3-day waiting period on all firearm purchases is one of them. Now, waiting periods aren't anything new. They've been around for a long time in various lengths and for various different types of firearms. And the idea behind them is twofold. One, the thought is that it would prevent suicides, and two, the thought is it provides a cooling down period, so to speak, for when people are in some type of homicidal rage and they want to go buy a gun and murder somebody. Now, the reality is there isn't a lot of research about the waiting periods, but the stuff I did find I'll go over, and hopefully that'll give you a little bit of insight into the minds of the people that are pushing these. The first of these is an article referenced by the Giffords Law Center on their waiting period page, and it's entitled Handgun Waiting Periods Reduce Gun Deaths. And their conclusion was that it reduced both homicides and suicides. My problem with it is that, again, and this is my problem with most of these types of statistics, is that it only talks about gun homicides and gun suicides, and it ignores the broader picture of overall homicides and suicides. Now, luckily, the next thing I found was a PolitiFact article, and luckily they did a lot of the research I needed to do for me. Now, I'll post some screen grabs from these articles so you can see for yourselves, but PolitiFact came to the conclusion, along with the people they referenced, that the waiting periods do not have an appreciable effect on homicide rate overall. That, or they came to the conclusion that there isn't enough evidence to determine one way or another. And to me that makes sense. If you find out that your best friend was sleeping with your wife, or whatever it is that triggers you, and the first thing that pops into your head is to go to a gun store and buy a gun, then come back and kill him, rather than grab the knife that's right next to you and just stab him, that makes no sense. There's no way that would ever be the first thing that pops into somebody's head. I'm not saying it's not possible, but it doesn't seem like it would be something that a broad law like this would remedy. Conversely, there is some evidence that waiting periods do help out with suicides, and that makes sense because people that are suicidal tend to be in that chronic state of depression that would encourage that. Instead of imposing a waiting period on everybody, though, I would think it would be more beneficial to spend more resources on getting suicidal people the help they need, and to encourage them to sign up for no-buy lists themselves, as one of the folks referenced in this PolitiFact article suggests. Now, on a political and philosophical level, I guess, my problem with waiting periods is that they are a denial of rights. There are no waiting periods on virtually anything else in this country, and if there were, people would be outraged. But for some reason it's different with guns. If you are legally allowed to own a firearm and you pass that background check in 20 minutes, you should be able to pick it up and buy it. And this runs counter to some self-defense as well. I'm not saying it's likely, but in the event that you feel you are in grave danger and you need to pick up a gun and you can't get it, you could be fucked. Anyway, that's all I have to say about waiting periods. Join me next time when I talk about something. Thanks for watching. Ciao.